Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the ninth grade parent meeting. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We deeply appreciate the fact that you're taking time out of your evening to be with us here at Greenwich High School. We have a number of speakers tonight, and before I even get to the speakers, I just want to let you know that we are recording this presentation. So if you need to go back and listen to something that you missed, or if you want to share it with someone in your household, it'll be recorded and it'll be posted on the Greenwich High School website. And before I begin, I want to welcome our ninth grade level coordinators, Mrs. Kelly Phillips and Mrs. Rebecca Carson, and they want to say a few words to you. So Kelly, Rebecca, off you go.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Kelly Phillips, one of the ninth grade coordinators this year. I hope your ninth graders are off to a good start in this very special and unusual school year that we're in. Rebecca and I are your coordinators this year, and we're here to help you with any questions or concerns you may have throughout the school year. Just a quick reminder to please join the PTA if you haven't already done so this year. We really encourage everyone to join. This is obviously a special year, and the PTA is working really hard to support all of the changing needs of the students and the faculty this year. So far this year, they've purchased 13 picnic tables so students can enjoy lunch outside and get some fresh air. And they've also added to the ventures and education budget this year to help fund additional distance learning technology for remote learning for students and teachers and faculty and staff. All these things will really help the students and the staff manage all the complexities of this very special school year. We obviously need your help to make all of these things happen, so please join if you can. And lastly, if you have any feedback or suggestions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Rebecca. If you ever have any issues or concerns, we will certainly do our best to find the answers for you. You can always contact us at grade9coordinator@ghspta.org. Again, it's grade9coordinator@ghspta.org, and we will try to also put that in the chat so you can write it down as well. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and here's Rebecca for a couple other comments. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Carson, otherwise known as Aiden's mom. We wanted to welcome all the families that are new to the high school and wanted to let you know that there's a Facebook page for new families that will have some alerts, posts, and is also a great place to get questions answered. The other option is you can join, you can request a buddy family that will be specific to your family, and you can make that request through newfamily@ghspta.org. I'll include that in the chat as well as the Facebook page so that you guys can join and hopefully get any questions you have answered as soon as possible. Thanks so much and welcome.
Thanks so much, Kelly and Rebecca, for starting off the meeting. I think as ninth grade parents, it's always, sometimes it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit, I don't want to say this. Sometimes it's a bit scary coming to the big high school. And I have to tell you that your ninth graders are doing great. They're fine. They didn't get lost. They found their way around. They're following directions. They're doing everything that we're asking of them, which is amazing. We were planning for the beginning of our school year all through July and August, and we had doubts about how everybody would react to the way we pass in class, the way we eat, all those good things, the way we're teaching now. And I have to say that the ninth grade class, along with the other 3 grades, have done so well. They passed with flying colors, and I'm so appreciative of you parents who have supported the hybrid model here at Greenwich High School and all the things we're trying to do to keep everyone healthy and safe. So thank you parents, thank you, and also a big thank you to the students themselves and to our staff, which had to learn how to teach both to the students that are in front of them, as well as to the students that are on camera. So it's not an easy job. And I think a lot of us, including your children and our staff, are starting to get a little worn out. And we're trying to figure out ways that we can make the week a little bit easier for people so that there's not so much pressure each day. So we're working on that. So I just wanted to get that in there. If you don't know me, my name's Ralph Mayo. I've been the principal of Greenwich High School for the last 2 years. I feel like it's a year and a half now because half of last year didn't really count. But this is my 44th year in the Greenwich Public Schools. I started at Greenwich High School in 1976, and here I am back here in the year 2020, and I don't believe it, so I don't expect you guys to. I have 4 children, and they've all graduated from Greenwich High School, and so did I, as a matter of fact. So I know our school very well. I know what our expectations are. They're very high, and it's been great to be able to become the leader of this building. And I just kind of tell you that our main objective is to stay safe and stay healthy and stay in school for the entire school year. So that's our main objective. But again, thank you for your patience and your understanding. I know we've had multiple technology issues. We're working on those every day. We're solving those issues daily. So please continue to be patient with us, but we're working extremely hard to get those issues completed. We do have class elections coming up, and Mrs. Foster will speak about that a little bit more when she comes on. And just to introduce you to our program, we've planned for an hour program, 6:30 to 7:30, and we have Christina Shaw, who is the what are you, Christina? She is the Cantor House House Administrator. She's also in charge of the World Language Program. But even one more, we gave her one more job because we knew she could handle it. She also is the administrator in charge of Innovation Lab. So we want to talk a little bit about that to all of you. We also have, as I said before, Ms. Karen Foster, who is the Director of Student Activities, and she has some great information for you. Fred Reich, our SRO. Not many schools have SROs. And he is an amazing resource, our school resource officer. And he'll tell you what he does in this building. We also have our Dean of Student Life, who is new to us, Lorraine Termini, who was our former Dean of Student Life, retired in September. And we were lucky to find Mr. Thomas Pereira, who had the same exact position over at West Hill High School in Stanford. And West Hill luckily let us have him. So I don't know how Tom feels about that, but we feel very fortunate to have him here with us. And we also have tonight, which Miss Lisa Dempsey, who is our tech, she's a business ed teacher and our tech coach, but she's also going to give you some hints on how to use Aspen and Schoology. So we have a nice program for you. And again, thank you. Welcome to Greenwich High School. I know it's sometimes it can be a little intimidating, but I think they're all your folks are doing an amazing job. So without further ado, without further blabbing from me, Christina Shaw.
Thanks, Ralph. Welcome to Greenwich High School, everyone. We're so happy to see your 9th grade students, bright, smiling faces. They really do want to be in the building with us. They do want to learn. And I know they're so excited to be starting high school. As a parent myself, I know that maybe one of your concerns might be how to make remote learning as rewarding as possible. So I'm going to start talking a little bit about that and then segue into Innovation Lab. There are procedural mechanical types of pointers that we have given you, and like making sure your child gets enough sleep and making sure that they're prepared for the next day at home, just as if they were going to school physically in the building. Having a workspace at home for them, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. even just like a little spot, a little table with a clear space and the right amount of light is enough. We just want them to be prepared to be students at home the way we try to prepare them to be students in the building. But there is another piece I think that we don't want to miss. And in order for students to be engaged properly, what they really need is to make a connection with the community. And there are several things that you can do as a parent to help with that. One thing that you could do is make sure that they make connections with a trusted adult in the building. That could be a counselor, it could be a teacher, it could be a mental health provider. And we do this through email, through Google Meet sessions. There are various ways that they can connect with the adults in the building. And we certainly want them to do that. It's also important for them to make connections with peers. And for the 9th grade, that could be particularly difficult, being that we constantly keep them 6 feet apart and they're wearing masks. So we want to help them make new friendships. This could be as easy as having them try a new activity, or even reaching out to a counselor to ask about some of our peer mentoring organizations that we have for students. It's also important to remember to make connections at home with family. And so I think it's good to make time as a family that is offline, and that is as important as being online connected with your teachers. It keeps them healthy, it keeps them happy, and then when they are online, it gives them the willpower to continue. Now, one way that Innovation Lab connects with this is that it is a program within the building that forms community. And if you have a student who is having difficulty with forming community, Innovation Lab might be the answer that you're looking for. The students within Innovation Lab form a strong bond that is a true bond because they share learning goals and they share academic goals together. And the bond that they form is with both the teachers and with the other students in the program. Innovation Lab is different from the typical class in that it focuses a little bit more on project-based learning and also collaboration. Now, these are things that you would find in any other classroom in Greenwich High School. But there are some other factors that also make it a bit unique. One is that students are the drivers of their learning and have more voice and choice in what they learn. It is interdisciplinary, so we have both social studies and English taught together and science and math taught together. And also we have exhibitions of student work. This year, obviously, those exhibitions will have to take a little bit of a different look. You may have seen in the past our exhibitions at the Bruce Museum. And one thing you can do if you're interested in Innovation Lab is go to our website. It is ghsinnovationlab.com. And we have all sorts of information about the program there. In addition, you might check the parent link. In November and December, Courtney Hawes, who was the program associate of the program, will be sending out information to parents about info sessions that she will be scheduling. And also, if you cannot make the info session, she said she's willing to schedule with you a private meeting, a virtual meeting with her, if you think your child might be a good fit for the program. And there is an application process, and it begins December 1st and will continue until classes begin to be scheduled in February. So again, if you have any questions at all, you could reach out to Courtney Hawes, who's the Program Associate of Innovation Lab, or you could reach out to me, Christina Shaw, or you could go to the website, ghsinnovationlab.com. Thank you and welcome.
Thanks, Christina. And I wanted to mention that if you all have any questions tonight, please email directly to the people that were presenting that you had a question about. Also wanted to mention that we need to join the PTA. It's very important that no matter how small of a donation you want to make, it's very important that we have the entire community be a part of the PTA. And one other thing that's exciting, I think, well, joining the PTA is very exciting, but we're working on two major projects here at Greenwich High School. One is our new entranceway, which hopefully will be in place well before your students graduate, and Cardinal Stadium, which is also has been funded. So keep an eye on those projects because they are going to be amazing, and we can't wait for to see them up and running. Our next guest is Ms. Karen Foster. Ms. Foster is our amazing, there's no other word I can use for her because she is Director of Student Activities. Karen?
Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for coming tonight. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about things that are not athletics and not academics and not guidance, because pretty much a lot of the other stuff falls under student activities in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to start off with clubs. So as a lot of things, this year the clubs are being run a little bit different. So for right now, all the clubs are meeting virtually, and they're meeting through Google Meets that the advisor sets up. We have over 100 clubs currently that exist at the high school. So then you might want to say, well, where is my child going to find all this information? So all the information about clubs has been sent out to the students, and it's also located on the school website. And the great thing about the website is that everything is always updated. So if we have a new club, it automatically gets added to the website. If a club is no longer functioning, it will be taken off the website. So if your child is interested in joining a club, I would highly suggest, saying to them, hey, go check out the website, see what it's like. Because like I said, in there, there's a drop-down menu for all the clubs, and you can kind of see a slide that they've made, and what's going on, when they're meeting, how to sign up for a club, because you do have to sign up for the clubs. But one of the things that I always say is that the clubs are very fluid. So if you can, you don't have to join a club by a certain date. You don't have to go to every single meeting. If you are someone who is in a spring sport, but has time in the fall and winter, you can do the club during the times where you're available, and then just take a break from the club, during sports, if that's what you need to do. And again, if you find a club at the end of the year, like, oh, I didn't know this club existed and I want to join, you can join. So that's the very nice thing about our clubs, is that there's no deadline to join. There's no cutoff of when it's too late or anything like that. If your child doesn't see a club that they're interested in, but they have a passion for something, then they can always start a club. We've actually had, I think, about 8 new clubs sign up, or 8 new clubs start in the last couple weeks. So again, all that information is on the website, and I've emailed it out to all the students. I made a little video for all the students to see. Just a little side note, for right now, some of our clubs are currently on hold. They've decided that given their club and the activities that their clubs do, that it would be best until they wait until we can meet back in person again. So that is noted on the website if the clubs are on hold. Something else that's important for your children to start looking at is the daily bulletin. So that is something that Student Activities puts out, and that also is posted on the website. And I've sent the link out to all the students and to all the parents. And that has all the information, about what happens every day, like what day it is it A day, B day, H day, whatever, which cohorts are in, upcoming events. Like right now we have information about freshman class elections on there. We have information about the theater programs. It'll have, information about lunches and stuff like that, or yearbooks and whatever. So that's something important both for students and for the parents to see. And again, that's on the website. The website is definitely your friend. It's very large, so I would get some practice navigating through it. But all the information that really you need is on there somewhere. Somewhere it is there. But all my information is, if you click on Student Life and then go to Student Activities, all the information will be there. Something that's coming up are pictures and proofs. So if your child came in August, and I want to thank all of you because we had almost 600 incoming freshmen come in August to get their pictures taken and do that Chromebook swap. If your child had their picture taken in August, their pictures have arrived if you ordered a picture package. If you did not order a package, then we have what's called a proof. So a proof is a sample of the picture and all the information if you would still like to purchase them. We have just a handful of pictures left. I think we're down to 10 picture packets. We do have more proofs. If your child had their picture taken in September, Those should be coming in the next couple weeks, and I'll send an email out when they come in. And again, whether you ordered a picture packet or a proof, I do know that there was a little confusion, we were having problems with ordering online. So if you were not able to order prior to the pictures, all that information is in there. Retakes will be November 17th for the Greenwich cohort and for remote learners between 12 and 4. For the Cardinal cohort, it will be on the 19th, Thursday the 19th, in the morning between 9 and 11. Now here's something to know, and it could be a little intimidating for freshmen. They are not going as their class. So if a freshman happens to have a learning center during that time, they should go to the learning center first, sign in and say, I need to go get my picture retaken. Or if somehow they missed pictures and they didn't have it taken at all, they can go then also. If they don't have a learning center, then they are just going to go during one of their class times, but they have to sign into their class first and ask permission to go. So that's what's going on with pictures. Yearbooks, the yearbooks are on sale already. You can go to yearbookforever.com. Again, all that information is on the website. It's also out in the parent link that was sent out, the October one, and I know it'll be in the November one and the December one and the January one. Class officers, we are currently accepting applications for freshmen who are interested in becoming a class officer. There's actually a mandatory meeting tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I've sent out the link to all the freshmen, and their applications are due in by Friday, this Friday at 3:15. Again, all that information has been emailed out and is also on the website. And just a little encouragement, I know that the students get a lot of emails, but especially now because of the fact that we are in cohorts, we do morning announcements. However, if you're not in school for 3 days, you can't always rely on hearing the morning announcements because important things might go out. So encourage your children to check their emails daily and make sure they not only check them, but read them because that's another thing. One last plug, PTA. Yes, please join if you haven't joined. If you have joined already, the student activities is actually helping the PTA pass out the incentives. So we are passing them out at the school store. Your child can come anytime if they want to pick it up at the school store. However, I also know that the PTA tomorrow, between the hours of 4 and 6, I believe, between 4 and 6, you can come to the front circle and they're passing out the PTA incentives there as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thanks, Karen. Great as always. Our next speaker is our school resource officer, Mr. Fred Reich. Fred's going to talk about his role, talk about what a school resource officer is, and then his role at Greenwich High School. Fred?
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Fred Reich. I am the school resource officer at Greenwich High School. I am a certified police officer through the Greenwich Police Department. And my role is to be at the high school during school, while school is in session. So I'm there every single day. And my primary responsibility is to keep everyone safe. Now, while doing that, I work very closely with school administration and teachers, guidance counselors, social workers, and psychologists on a number of different issues. Now, the reason why I am in my position is because I understand that kids make mistakes. My primary goal is not to go out there and just arrest every single kid that makes a mistake. That is not what I'm about at all. In fact, we actually have a couple of different diversionary programs to keep them out of court and hold them accountable for their actions. Just for example, we have a juvenile review board that will put a kid on a contract if they make a mistake, if it's a criminal act, and if they complete the contract, then they will never have to go to court and it is wiped from their record. But aside from that, because they are kids, we have a lot of discretion on how we can handle certain situations. And again, like I said before, I work very closely with school administration on things like that. Let me just check. So aside from handling the law enforcement side in this school and keeping everyone safe, I also help, I serve as a teacher and an informal counselor. And by that, I mean, for the teacher point, I teach 10th grade health class so it's just the sophomores, and I go over driving laws and pretty much anything that pertains to kids that are right around 15, 16, 17 years old. They might have a lot of questions for me, and it's definitely a big change in their life at that point. So I teach a class for all the sophomores, and I'm also there to kind of help kids and guide them in the right direction. And if they do make a mistake, kind of explain to them the consequences behind that and what could happen. And yeah, so again, my door is always open to any of the kids. So if you have any questions, just please let me know. And thank you for having me.
Thanks, Fred. All right, our next panelist or speaker, Mr. Tom Pereira. Tom started in October. He's just getting to know our school, and but he has many years 7 years as a dean of students over at West Hill. So I asked him not only just to be introduced to all of you, but asked him to explain his role and what he's seeing here at Greenwich High School this year. So Tom?
All right, thanks, Ralph. Thank you for joining us today in this virtual meeting. One of many that I'm sure that we've all sat through in these past couple of months. So as Mr. Mayo said, for 7 years, I was the Dean of Students over at West Hill High School. And for 7 years before that, I was actually a 9th grade social studies teacher at West Hill. So the 9th grade to me is a great year for students to come into the high school, but it's a fun year. They get to kind of grow up. You'll see some maturity going from September to June. And it was honestly my favorite grade to teach when I was still back in the classroom. So as Officer Reich said, I work very closely with our school resource officer. I am probably the administrative liaison for that. And the Dean of Student Life is a unique position. I'm lucky enough to be the second person to have this position. Dr. Termini was the first. So it's nice to kind of follow in some great footsteps there. There's a lot of great programs that we have going on at Greenwich High School that have been started by her that I'm going to continue to keep forward. But the biggest responsibilities that I have is a lot of school disciplinary policies, procedures, working proactively to ensure a safe environment, which if your child has any issues or of bullying or investigations like that, I'll help conduct and supervise those. I work in conjunction with each house's dean. So I also work with them for those situations. And in addition to that, working with the house deans, we're working with PBIS. So positive school climate is a big push for Greenwich High School, and you can see it by all the activities we're able to do. Many of them are virtual, unfortunately, but we're working to kind of build that positive climate that we have. So that's kind of my role in it. And before I kind of want to leave you guys with some tips, because I've had a great wealth of experience working with 9th grade and with transitioning from middle schools to the high schools. So it's very important that, especially with the remote that we have with our kids being either hybrid or remote, that you help to establish a routine with your child. I think it's important to kind of get them into the flow, because even though they're in school twice a week, they're still in school the other 3 days. So it's very important to establish a routine for them. It's important to check Aspen, which Ms. Dempsey is going to talk about, in terms of stay on top of their assignments. And it's very important for, like I believe Ms. Shaw said, to build relationships and to build connections with a member of the school community. It's a little bit more difficult now in a virtual setting, but it still can be done. We're working through it, phones, Google Meets. So building that relationship is essential for a 9th grader to kind of feel connected to the school. And it's important that you as parents to reach out to the house teams, reach out to myself, to check in. If you have any questions, that's what we're here for. We're here to fully support a successful transition for your child, to make sure that they're ready to go by the time they walk across the stage at Cardinal Stadium for their graduation. So don't hesitate to reach out, especially if you're new parents. I mean, I've only been there 14 days, so don't hesitate to reach out as well, because I'm still learning my way around the building. The nice thing is all the arrows on the floor kind of direct me to where I'm going. So I do appreciate that. So happy to be here. glad to join the Greenwich High School family and look forward to watching your students grow in the next 4 years.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. One of the things that Tom mentioned in his presentation was building connections. There's nothing more important than building connections with the school, with your child, building connections with someone in the school, joining a club, being on a team, developing a relationship with a trusted adult, whether that be the guidance counselor or one of their teachers. The research is overwhelming in terms of connections make for a positive school experience. So thanks, Tom, for bringing that up. It's much appreciated. Our next speaker and our last speaker, Lisa Dempsey, has taught me everything I know about technology, and that it's a lot, because we started many years ago with what did we call it? Greenwich. What was it, Ellie? What was the name of the program?
Oh, goodness. Osiris started us, I think, as one of the operating systems.
Everybody got a computer and everything like that.
Oh, goodness. I don't even remember. It's too long ago for me to remember. I've been doing this a very long time at Greenwich schools.
So we started working together, in a group of us.
At Greenwich College of Technology.
Greenwich College of Technology. We all got together and worked together and learned how to use a laptop. And that was our first experience with technology. But we've come a long way since that time. Thank goodness. Otherwise, do what we're doing, right, Lee?
Yes, absolutely.
Lisa is the program associate for our business department. She's our technology coach. And tonight, she's going to talk to you a little bit about Aspen and give you a little overview about Aspen and Schoology. So, Lisa.
Hello all. I am going to end up sharing my screen. I just want to give a little bit of an overview about what those two programs do. They are an integral piece of what teachers have to communicate with our students and our staff and our parents. And when we look at Aspen and Schoology, they do work together. Aspen is our grade book, where you can see the attendance, and you can see what assignments, the grades students received on assignments and assessments, and you can then also go into Schoology, where you will see the actual assignments and the due dates and such there. So they do work together, and I want to direct you to, I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this is going to work just fine. So let me just share it. Can someone just give me a heads up that I am sharing?
Oh, we got the website up.
The website, perfect. So what I want to do is show you where to get to the Greenwich Schools portal. The easiest place is to go into the greenwichschools.org. And the quickest way I have found is to go up to quick links and going down to portal and tech support. And when you're in that site, you can go on to the left-hand side where it says information technology. The information technology piece of the Greenwich Public Schools site is your base to where to get information about the programs that are available to you. We want to go under the tab of parent portals. And in the parent portal, you will see what is available for parents and students to be able to access. The first, as I said, we were going to look at is Aspen. And so when these are all drop downs and information is here, again, Aspen is where grades are posted, and it is also where report cards and attendance and your contact information is located. So when we're taking a look at Aspen, and if, by the way, you have any questions about how to access, or if you're having difficulty, the email address you would send, and this is a hyperlink, is parent_portal@greenwich.k12.ct.us. Again, that's parent_portal@greenwich.k12.ct.us. And that is an email address you would use if you have any difficulties with the accounts of either Aspen or Schoology to be able to access it. So when we're taking a look at an Aspen, we are going to be able to look at, when we're looking at Aspen Help, again, how to log into the page, which I've already logged in to save a little bit of time for you. How to reach, looking at Aspen and Schoology, a little overview of how to use Aspen, how you can set notifications for yourself for grades that have been entered, as well as attendance notifications. So let me go into Aspen and show you. Of course, my session has expired, so I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you log into Aspen, this is the main screen when you first log in. Your name, your family name will appear up top here, and as well as in the upper right corner. This is the main screen in Aspen that you will want to take a look at. And the recent activity that you see here is organized by your student. The student that we are focused on is we have our 5A test student. And what is here, if you'll see that there's an attendance and a grade option. So if you only want to see the grades are going to be here. If you deselect and only select the attendance, you'll see the reported attendance by class. So every class that your student has, you will see the attendance. If they're present, you will not see anything. But if they are tardy or if they are absent, you will see that here, as well as we have a new code called virtually present, the VP here, that takes place when a student is scheduled to be at Greenwich High School, but is reporting in remotely for the day. Again, the virtually present is only for students who are scheduled to be at GHS, but are going into their Google Meet to meet with their class during the time of class meeting. So you will see up here in that recent activity, again, the last 7 days, and you have the choice to go to just today, or 30 days is a bit much, or 60 days is even further, but the default right now is last 7 days. The other piece I'd like you to look at is on the to-do section. And again, this portal is for all of your students. They're linked together. So it's important that you choose the student that you want to follow. In our case, our high school student is our AAA test there. And you will see any overdue assignments or what's coming up tomorrow or what is also today. And this right now is the week view that we are taking a look at. When I clicked on that, it also gives you the opportunity to look at this from a weekly viewpoint. I guess not, our daily viewpoint of what's happening day to day based on the student that we have coming up. But I'm gonna get back out to our to-do list. So anything that's coming up for, again, our high school student is going to be here. And when these are all hyperlinks to be able to take you to those locations. Over here on the right-hand side under web links, these are some shortcuts that you will find helpful to be able to get to different high school pages, as well as pages that are for the district as well. Another point I wanted to show you on this home page is this progress report. Progress reports were just released last week. This is the published reports are where you're going to find your student's progress report, as well as report cards that they will be seen right here as a PDF file. So were you to open them up, again, this is our test student, it's going to download to then be able to open up to see what the student has. We'll have the course name, the current grade at that time, as well as the comments. So that is the front page of how to get through your student's front page. If we look on the family tab, your family tab, again, we want to only focus on our high school student. And when you look at that, this is where you can check your address to make sure your address is accurate and up to date. And this is where you'll also see a photo of your child there as well. But again, the contact section is going to have who the contacts are. So it'll have your emergency contacts as well and who they are. The daily attendance is something that at the high school, the only time you're going to see something in daily attendance is when a student has been called out for the entire day. So when you have called them out, and hopefully you do that as soon as you can in the morning, if they are not going to be in school, you call the attendance number for each of your houses, you will be able to see that this student has been called out, and the reason that they have been called out will be there that day. You can also see here their transcript, And in the transcript right now, there's nothing there, but if you go back and look at all records in the transcript, it'll show all the classes they've had at the high school with what their grades are. So there will be a lot of information. Another thing that is very important for you to find out is what their schedule is for the day. The key about the schedule, I can't tell you how many times I've had a student have to check their cell phone because someone is texting them in the middle of the day. So if you want to know when your student is open or available or during a time where they're not scheduled for class, although ninth graders always have a class scheduled, this is the schedule piece will show you where they are at every, where they're scheduled to be at each point in the day. Under academics is the next tab. I'm going across the top. And I am going back to our high school student. So in this, again, I'm on the academics tab and for our high school students. And when I'm looking at that, this marketing class happens to be my class that I've taught, that I am teaching now. And then when you look in that class details, you can look at the details section, which tells you a lot. It will tell you by marking period, how many times a student has been absent, how many times they've been tardy by marking period. It will also break down the grades based on whatever categories that the teacher has set up, and those are set by the department. That my classes have classwork and work ethic weighted, as well as test quizzes and applications. And the grade is broken down. So if you really want to see where your child's strengths are or where they need the most assistance, you will see their overall grade broken down, that you can see this student doesn't do so well on their classwork, yet they really do fairly well on their assessment grades, but their grade is not as high as it could be because they are not fully completing the assignments. And if you want to see the detailed assignments, you can go onto the left tab. And again, on the assignments, everything listed here, you see as it's entered into the teacher's grade book. So when you see something that's in, all of these are hyperlinks that will take you directly into the individual, but let me go back to that, under the assignments. So to be able to take a note here, you'll see some codes. AU means absent unexcused, which means the student was not in class when they were supposed to be, and there was no call that came in to excuse them. And NS says not submitted, which means the student was supposed to submit the assignment. They were in class when it was due, yet they did not submit the assignment. There are other codes that we have, such as AE, which is absent excused, which means that the student did complete the work. I am so sorry about that. The student did complete the work, but was unable, I'm sorry, I totally lost my train of thought on that one. So AE, the student was absent, has a total right to be able to make up the work. And as soon as they make up the work, that grade will go in there. So those are some of the codes that we have. And those are universal codes across the school, so everybody is aware what those codes mean. Now, sometimes the teachers will put in the grade book what assignments are coming up. And if it says ungraded, which means that the teacher has not gotten to that grade yet, there will also be a code called TBG, which is to be graded, which means that the teacher got the assignment, they have not graded it as yet. They are in the process of grading it. So those are some of the things that you can look at, all the assignments. And the one thing I want to make you very aware of is that at the beginning of the quarter, when you have assignments, every assignment looks like it has a huge effect on the grade because there's not that many assignments in there. As the quarter goes on, there will be more and more assignments so that those grades will be averaged out over a larger point value. So to be aware of that. So again, at the beginning of the quarter, every grade that's in there really looks a lot different than it will at the end of the quarter. And attendance, again, you will see exactly what the student did for the quarter, of how many days that they were out, if they were virtually attended. And so that is really all I can show you in Aspen. The one other thing I can show you with the calendar tab up top is when you take a look at the calendar tab, although it's not seem to be working right now, so I can take a look at that. So I'm going to go back to pages, and that is Aspen. So there's a lot in there. Well, many of these directions that I've just gone over are on that main page of the district website to be able to go over that. So I'm going to get out of Aspen now, and I'm going to jump into Schoology, because Schoology is where you will see the day-to-day activity of your students' courses to see what is going on, to be able to take a look at that. And so when we are in Family User, this is just overall screen. What you want to do, again, all of your students that you have in the Greenwich Public Schools will be listed here. And now we want to get to the high school students course. So when you want to take a look at all the courses that your child is in, again, in the upper right corner, once you've logged in, you need to go to that student and to be able to take a look. This is your student, all of the courses that your student has. The right-hand side of the screen is going to give you the upcoming about what is happening in that student's course. And the other item that is very helpful, I find, in Schoology is utilizing the calendar. So if you want to take a look at what your student is doing on a daily basis, or even an overview of what was happening and what's coming up, when you take a look in the calendar feature, it is a way for you to be able to plan. And this calendar can be looked at by the month, it can be looked at by the week, or it can even be looked at by the day, which is, I find, a very helpful tool for students for organization. So when you're taking a look at what is happening on each of their classes, you will be able to, you'll notice that there's no class assigned to it, but when you hover over the assignment, the class that that student, that assignment is doing will pop up. So this is for a student's marketing class, this is for their ESL class, and you will be able to see from there and their biology teacher as well. So when you're taking a look at your students' courses, here's my marketing class, just so you can see what you will see. On every teacher's Schoology page, you will see the link for the Google Meet for that class. So there's never a doubt as to what the Google Meet link is for the class for each day. And again, the right-hand side is the upcoming reminders or upcoming assignments. You will see the current work of what they're working in, any work that has been past due, but it's still able to be accessed. You'll be able to access everything that is in there, as well as I always put my directions of how I want work submitted. It will have the syllabus. It has usually a daily calendar or any other information that you have on there. And that's really the overview that you have of Schoology. They will work together. So something that is you see in Aspen, you will see what the assignments actually are when you go into Schoology to be able to access it. And again, I'm now going up to courses. You can see all the courses that a student has to be able to see what they have. Again, you'll notice that the Google link is up top. It'll have whatever assignments are being done. Again, current work, past work, any future work, but all the information is basically the same when you look at any of your teachers' Schoology pages. The one thing I would like to stress to you to be able to if you ever have any questions about what is in Aspen or Schoology, I really stress to you to please ask your child first. Ask them to be able to see what they've done on the assignments, what they have coming due, because we want to try to make them independent learners. And I understand, because I've lived through my kids through high school already, they sometimes need a little guidance to be able to say and help them plan about what they need to be doing in the time frame in which they need to do it. Another component of Aspen and Schoology is it does give you the ability to see what is upcoming, what they have done, what they're missing. But again, please have the conversation first with your child, then you can reach out to the teacher directly if there's something that your child has already discussed with their teacher first to get some clarification as what's going on. Another component in Aspen that I forgot to mention is that teachers can leave little notes next to the assignment grades that you have access to be able to see what those notes are if there is a note left next to any assignment grade. Again, I'm going to refer you back to the parent portal page on the Greenwich Public Schools website. And if you have any questions when it comes to Aspen or Schoology, please go back to that site to be able to have any questions answered. You can put it into that support portal to be able to hopefully help you along the way. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Folks, I know that's a lot of information to throw at you at one time in like 40, 50 minutes, but we are going to move on to the 12th grade parents. But before we do that, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight and joining us. I hope that the information that we disseminated tonight was helpful to you. And again, if you need additional support, please email the people that spoke tonight, and they will be more than happy to support you in anything that you need. Okay, so again, thank you very much, and thank you to the PTA coordinators for putting this together for us. So again, thank you, and that's the end of our session. Thanks so much.